Hello, everybody, and welcome in again to Bedford County Sports Live, the Jud Dryden Show, talking Shelbyville Golden Eagle football. And Coach Dryden, thank you for this nice banner we got here tonight. Looks awful good.
Yeah, it's compliments of Drew Hooker from last year. He hung up a bunch of them before he chose to leave us.
Okay, good.
So I'm just taking advantage of what he's done for
Absolutely.
us.
Drew would have it no other way.
I don't know about that. He might have taken it with him.
He might have had. Today's show, of course, is brought to you, as always, by SLC Firearms inside Shelbyville Lumber, 917 North Main Street. Actually, Coach, I had a problem with my 17 Hornet the other day. I called Chris Cartwright up, and I said, it's not right. I'd missed an armadillo or something. The gun's always a tack driver. He said, well, bring it down here. And I did. 5 minutes, I'm out the door. Gun's fixed. Didn't charge me a thing. Cleaned it up a little bit. And that's what service. And that's what you get from your friends and neighbors at Shelbyville Lumber and SLC Firearms right here in Shelbyville. Go check them out. 684-5731. Coach, I'm going to say it again because it's a trend that's worked for several weeks. A good day to do a coach's show. What a huge region win, 29-27 at Columbia.
It was a hard fought battle where they came out and they were ready to play. They got a lot of good news in a short period of time that night. I mean, talk about picking the best time to pull the interim tag off your interim head coach, and you can tell those boys that he's coaching love him to death, and they're getting better each and every week. So we once again, I feel like it was our non-region schedule leading up to that truly prepared us for that game. If we hadn't played some of the people we played, I'm not sure that we'd be ready. The opportunity to come back against Siegel fell just a little bit short.
Right.
We found ourselves in the same situation again, almost, verbatim. And, their defensive line in front was really good. If we don't play Coffee County, you're not
ready.
Prepared. And so the non-region schedule is definitely one that prepared us for that game.
Coach David Thomas and I were talking about this on the show Sunday, which we're going back to Saturdays, by the way, at 9 o'clock in the morning. But it appeared to us that they've got probably 4 potential Division I prospects at Maury County. There was at least 4 really. That's really good players over there.
They're okay. That defensive tackle they had is I understand that he has several offers, one from Ole Miss, one from Tennessee, I think the other from Vandy, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. And then the running back and wide receiver, and apparently there's another one on there too, but nobody's been able to verify that for me. So but yeah, they were that running back. He got in the open space. We had nobody that was going to catch him without an angle, and the defensive lineman, he gave us fits in pass pro all night. Even though Nathan had a pretty solid game throwing the ball, he got knocked down multiple times as he's delivering the football because we have a hard time. We were having a hard time with that kid one-on-one.
So. Defensively, outside of 3 big plays, though, you all played pretty good defense except for the big plays. You actually kind of controlled the game.
We did, and we had to make a couple of adjustments at halftime. We had to scale back, play faster, get back to what we know. We felt like the game plan going into the first half was solid, and just looking at the way it lined up, looking back, it was solid. We just weren't executing it. So we scaled back and went back to the basics of our defense and the core of it, and we started playing much faster and much more sound. So that was a big deal for us coming out of halftime. Something that
stuck out to me too was how much better you were on special teams in the kicking game. As far as the kickoffs were really good, the snaps on the punts were better, and Betzelberger rocketed some kicks for you, which changed in flip field position.
Right, and that's one of the things too. Our guys across the board. There's not one exception when they make a mistake or they happen to fail at something, they want to know how to fix it. They're willing to do and put the extra time in. And that's what happened with Mason Shapers. He comes in on Monday, he's still in the field house, as I'm getting ready to walk out an hour after practice, he's still in there working on his snaps. We make a couple of tweaks and he's firing them back on point. As I was speaking to Dave earlier, Ben Betzelberger does a great job of self-correcting when he makes a mistake. He has learned his craft to the point where if the ball is not doing what he wants it to do, he knows exactly what to work on to make it do what he wants it to do. So all those things are very common across the board for our guys, and I love them to death for it. It makes coaching them that much more fun.
You were able to run the football as normal and ran it well. DeLauder really had a nice game. It had
He
some
did.
nice passes.
Mhm.
Ransom, I thought, came
Yeah.
through, and he had a nice catch.
Yes. LeBron is probably one of the best route runners I've ever had on a team. He's obviously he's athletic, but he sets up defensive backs and he gets himself open. And it was great to see him have a good game, especially in region play like that. And Nathan ran the offense incredibly well, even as we expanded for him in the running game. Off the top of my head, I know he had at least 40, if not 60 yards rushing. And a lot of that was just simply him running the system the way he's supposed to and doing the things that are expected of him. So he's still truly coming through the process of understanding the system and getting better.
How important in your system is it to have a quarterback that can run the football?
It's incredibly important for us, and it is I think for a lot of teams. I mean, there's a few offenses out there that don't expect that, but when you have another skill guy that you have to account for in both the running and passing game, that changes how a defense prepares for you.
Right.
No longer can you. If you get cover zero, man to man with nobody deep across the board, there's two ways to beat it. You either throw the ball deep on it, or you add an extra runner in the system, which would have to be the quarterback. And in that case, and even like with Columbia Central, they're in man free cover one, so they're man to man everywhere with one deep safety. It's still now we're up one guy in the running game using the quarterback, and that's what kind of played out for us. And as they had to defend more and more of the field horizontally and vertically, now Nathan starts to really come into his own as a runner. That's when you see Rocky and Robert start to reel off instead of 4, 5, 6 yards. They start reeling off 8, 9, 10 and more. So that's pretty much how it happened.
You get down in this game, it's down 27-17 in the fourth quarter. You come down and score, and then a key play is this onside kick that you make. Was there any doubt you were going to onside it?
The only doubt came in how they were going to line up.
Okay.
AJ does a great, special teams coordinator, AJ Nunez, does a great job of having everything prepared. And we knew we missed the extra point, and we're kind of like, okay, what are we going to do here? And it was automatic. If they gave it to us, we were going to take it, and if they didn't, we were going to try to put the ball in the end zone, play defense, use some timeouts if we had to, whatever we had to do to manage the clock to give ourselves a chance. But they lined up exactly how he basically foretold they were going to line up. He said, "Coach, they're going to be like this, this, and this." And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I said, "Are they where you want them?" "Yes, sir." "Let's do it." And we came out with two different kicks called, one going deep, one coming short. And all he had to do was give a signal to which one he wanted. Nothing else went across the line or the board. So
the discipline on that play to let that ball go the 10, 11 yards is impressive, because the human reaction is the minute you see the ball, you jump on it. It didn't go 10 yards, you give it right back to the other team.
Right.
That was nice.
And, the execution of the kick itself is critical, obviously. But the ability to recognize in space where you're at, and it's one more thing, that Ben Betzberger has, is he's incredibly intelligent. And he's just a great kicker all the way around.
And we were talking off the air up here Sunday, and David Thomas was on the sideline. He gave a good thing where you went over to Crenshaw and put your arm around him and basically said, "If you got me." And then he goes out there and tears them up on that last drive. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, it's one of those things where, you spend so much time with your guys and you spend so much time getting to know them and all that. And they know you've got their back, and that allows you to ask them to have yours. And that's pretty much what that was. That was as educators, we're constantly talking about building relationships, and it goes beyond just what he's able to do on a football field, and it goes beyond everything else, and it gets into how much everybody cares about each other in the program, individually and each other as a group. And just knowing that I could walk up to him and ask him to give me something a little bit extra, because
he got it.
Lord knows I don't know where he pulls it from, because his motor is one of the highest on the team anyway. But just that little bit of extra gear, and he is an absolute monster. So it really just boils down to we do for each other, and it's like that across the board for all of our guys.
Defensively, though, if I had to throw the football, I would not want to have to throw it on your front right now. You all are really bringing it.
We are, and the crazy thing about that is we don't have these monsters. Like we don't have like the kid from Coffee County, the nose guard. We don't have the 3 technique from Columbia Central. We have guys that are strong, powerful, and have high motors, and that's what we hang our hat on up front. So to see them be able to do with half the measurables that everybody else
Right.
has, it's incredible to watch, and it's so much fun because they get after it.
Anytime you can go to Columbia and beat them over there, it's a great win.
Mhm.
But talk to us about this being probably just the impact of this being a region game and what it could mean for the region.
Well, I mean, it puts us. You can't say it puts us in the driver's seat
No.
because we still have 5 more games
Absolutely.
to go. And after the Franklin County Tullahoma game, I mean, who knows what the region's going to look like? I mean, we're not going to be able to take a week off. We're not going to be able to walk into a game. I don't care who it's against and go.
But it gives you a leg up on Columbia come playoff time.
It does, and we're pretty much in control of our own destiny, to use the old cliche,
Right.
and that's the way it has to be. But we have to approach each and every game as though it's that Columbia. And if we don't, somebody's going to.
Rather not be in a 10-point home court.
You are correct. I'd much rather not be in another hole the rest of the year.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
but the ability that you've done it, and you come back from it, and they know they can do it.
Right.
And I go back to that Siegel game again.
Yep.
The way they fought back. These kids have grit. And they've got heart.
Oh, they do. And going back to the Siegel game, as you mentioned, they knew that we gave that game away. Right. They knew the score, so to speak. And we were down by 5 with 7 or 8 minutes left, and we had our chance, and we gave it away based on our mistakes. It wasn't anything that Siegel did necessarily, other than play sound football. We gave it up, and so that was a coaching point going in. It's a coaching point every week. Is we don't want to beat ourselves. You know, it goes back to more games are lost than they are won by a team. In other words, it's the team that commits the fewest mistakes, not necessarily the best team on the field. So we want to make sure that anytime that we are not the best team on the field athletically, we're the team that's most disciplined and makes the fewest mistakes. And we've been blessed so far that's happened multiple times for us.
Well, today's show is brought to you by SLC Firearms inside Shelbyville Lumber at 917 North Main Street. Go in there and see Mike Matusik, see Chris Cartwright. They've got Hornady ammo. A lot of folks don't know that. Hornady ammo, I use critical defense and handguns, and that's the best ammo on the market. They've got that. They've got all sorts of stuff for your scopes, optics, gunsmithing, gun cleaning. Stop in and see them at 684-5731 at 917 North Main Street. Before we move to this week, let's talk about a couple of games, just kind of get your thoughts. Franklin County, Tullahoma, 17-16. That took some people by surprise.
It did. Hats off to Coach Hayes down there. He had his guys ready to play, and I have not seen that film, so I couldn't tell you from my perspective or our perspective what it looked like. I know that there were multiple chances for Tullahoma to go up early and in the middle of the game, and they didn't. Anytime, that Franklin County may have ruined it for us all. That kid doesn't miss very often, the kicker. And he probably missed his one for the year. He's really stinking good. So it's something else, for Tullahoma. You've got to, if they get across the 40, the positive side of the 40, they're going to come out with 3 points no matter what.
Right.
And
he's a weapon.
He is. And it changes your defensive game plan. It changes how you approach everything.
Right.
So, and then Franklin County, I mean, obviously they're ready to play.
So, interesting. They've got Moore County this week, and probably the 2A, maybe player of the year, the quarterback down there, the white kid. He's good.
He's pretty good.
Spring Hill 12, Lincoln County 14, Giles County 42, Lawrence County 7, and Siegel beat Coffee County, I think 21-0. This week, you got to go up to Wilson Central. They're 3-1. They're at 6A school. They lost to Green Hill and Mount Juliet, who is a newer school, but very good. Wilson Central. What do they bring to the table, and what problems are they going to cause you?
A lot of what they bring to the table is going to be they're very, very multiple in formation. So we're going in it different than what Columbia Central was somewhat multiple. It's anybody that saw the UT Austin P game. They're gonna see the same thing out of Wilson Central. A lot of 4 and 5 wide at one point, and straight back into 2 tight ends, and then 2 tight ends with multiple sniffer backs. And I mean, so we're gonna have to be able to line up first and then go play football. So it changes the game plan for us. It in some ways we have to simplify, and in other ways we have to get a little more complex as as they align and get ready to play ball. So that side of the ball is going to be, predicated for the most part on can we line up and then go play. On the offensive side for us, they're not giving us a lot that we haven't seen before. So we feel pretty good about at least understanding what it is we're going to see. We've not seen the type of athletes on the defensive side of the ball that we've seen the last few weeks, but that doesn't mean they don't play hard and they're not strong. They got a couple of kids that look like they're about as strong as we have. So we're going to have to be able to line up, play football there too.
I want everybody to go on the road this week. Come out and support the Golden Eagles. It's not that far. It's a pretty easy drive to Wilson Central. It's right off 840, isn't it?
It is. You can see the school every time you drive from Murfreesboro to I-40. So it's a beautiful school, beautiful facilities. It's well taken care of. Coach Coon's done a great job when he took that program over, and they're playing pretty good football right now. It's like I said, it's not going to be an easy non-region contest for us by any means.
Well, they're 3-1. You're 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, you've won 3 in a row. Got to feel pretty good.
It does. I mean, we'd all be lying if we said it didn't. Mm-hmm. I'd like to not almost have a stroke every night from just from the way the game flow goes, but the fact that our guys are so gritty. We talk a lot about the attitude you bring and perseverance that you have, and really what that boils down to is just a gritty focus on what your job is and why you're there, which is for each other. So that is one of the things that has truly come about culture-wise for us is our the way we're focused on each other, and we want to do it for each other and not just ourselves.
And I did talk to Mary Lita Shaver's, Mason Shaver's mother. She's got the tickets printed up for the fish fry already.
And I have yours out in the truck. So
all right, good. Yeah. We're going to sell some tickets. $15 a ticket. Any of the football players, any of the coaches have them? Or how are we going to work that?
Coaches have not had theirs. Select players have theirs right now. All players will have them come October 1st.
Okay, good.
So it's
that's
right
the Lincoln County game. We're going to have a big fish fry at the high school. It's $15 a head. You're going to get a good meal. We're going to have white beans, homemade hush puppies. I think the parents are putting together potato salad, and we're going to have coleslaw, desserts. It's going to be a spread, and we want everybody to come out for that and start planning on that right now. And I believe we're out of school that week, which works out pretty good there too. So we can cook that afternoon and have it ready, and it will not be a bunch of catfish somewhere. It's going to be the good stuff. It's my stuff. Y'all have had it before. And it's probably the last big batch of fish I've got. I got 2 coolers full, and we're going to cook it all on October 20th out at Shelbyville Central High School. But everybody, get out and support the Golden Eagles, support Coach Dryden and these kids, and let's go up to Wilson Central and get another road victory.
I do like the way you think, Bill. That's exactly what the plan is. So, Lord willing, it'll happen.
We'll see you guys back here next week. Thanks for being on the Coach Dryden Show.